Thank you very much, Julius. Well, I want to congratulate you, Julius, Kingston University, and of course the London Borough of Merton, but particularly RBS. Well done, banks. Well done, RBS, for propping up to support this, and indeed RBS finance my own mortgage. I'm delighted to say that we're lending far more than I can afford, quite right too. London is, I think you will agree, Julius, is the home, and has been for a long time, the home of green technology, isn't it? All wonderful inventions that have revolutionised transport or enabled us to benefit the environment. Most of them, I think, you'll find have been invented. I'll give the roller skate, 1635, Mayfair, as far as I remember. The bicycle, the Germans claimed the bicycle, but actually it was perfected. It was perfected in Covent Garden by a man called Dennis Johnson, no relation, unfortunately, in about 1718 or so. The electric train, the first electric train, no fumes coming out of this train. Do you know where it was? West London. Chiswick, 1901, the first electric train, completely revolutionised mass transit across the world, a London innovation. And of course, it's not only about making the city cleaner and greener, it's also about driving jobs and growth, now and for the long term. And when I look at the economic position we're in, it seems to me absolutely essential that we grip it, and we recognise that if only the pension funds would come through and support, in the way that they could, a massive program of retrofitting London's housing stock and indeed office stock, we could not only crack the problem of CO2 emissions in the city, 80% of which, 70% of which come from buildings, and achieve our target of a 60% reduction by 2025, but we would crack the problem of youth unemployment as well. And I think it's high time that the Green Deal that the government has launched really took off. It's working in Germany, it needs to work in this country as well. Now, I've seen many brilliant ideas this morning, and I'm very reluctant, because I'm a politician, you see, and when you come to these sort of beauty parades, you've got to be very, very careful that you don't pick a favourite, because you always offend someone. But I'm going to have to go through. I've seen a beautiful wooden bodice and a skirt made of mould, and it's a pair of fungus underpants. And I liked very much the biodegradable coffin. And I congratulate the authors of the biodegradable coffin. You can be buried in your own favourite newspapers, or papier-mâché comprising the books that you have yourself written and failed to sell. I very much like I love the which I can tell TFL about this afternoon, the brilliant Oyster card charity donation system. Fantastic. Unfortunately, Oyster cards are going the way of the horse-drawn bus, because we are going to, assuming your BlackBerry works in future, you're going to use your handheld to pay when you go through. So what we'll need to look at is the software, but the principle is absolutely brilliant. I like that. I like the cycle hoops. I'm familiar with the cycle hoops, and obviously we're trying to do what we can for it. I love the hydrogen generator. I didn't quite believe the statistics. It led to an 80% reduction in diesel just as little gift. But anyway, I think it's fantastic. What else do I like? I think the thing I like most, and it's always a risk to single out something, but the thing I like most was the public bike pump. And what a fantastic thing. What a wonderful display of optimism. You know, to create a piece of valuable infrastructure, big steel tube, leave it on the streets of London, and hope that it won't be vandalised. But I don't think it will. And I'm going to take that idea home this afternoon, back to City Hall, and we're going to see what we can do to trial it out. Because I don't think it will. I think people will look at it. I have one piece of evidence for you. If you look at what happened, you may have noticed in the centre of London at the moment, we're going to roll out, of course, to Kingston just as soon as we can. We have some gigantic, big, blue, burly bicycles, which are very, very popular. But in spite of their massive popularity, the single most fascinating thing about the bicycles in the last couple of months was during the August riots, which you will remember, guess how many bicycles were nicked by the looters? Not one. Not a single bike did they bother to loot. And I didn't know whether to be flattered or insulted by it. I couldn't work out whether they were fundamentally unstealable or undesirable. But anyway, the looters didn't, and I prefer, because I'm the mayor, and I have an optimistic view about this city, and I have an optimistic view of human nature, I prefer to think it's because they recognised them, that they were valuable pieces of public property. And they didn't want to nick them. Yeah? And by the way, we had far fewer bikes nicked in it. We had 18 nicked in the last year or so of operation, compared to 2,000 in a rival city. I won't mention by name, except to say it's capital of France. And I think that is what we are trying to do with London, to put that village atmosphere back into the city. And if that village atmosphere can be incarnated not just in a public bicycle scheme, not just in cleaner, greener vehicles, but also in wonderful public bike paths, then I think that's the way we should go, and we're certainly going to look at it. So thank you very much for introducing me to so many interesting ideas this morning. I think it's a wonderful event. It deserves the wholehearted support of the banks and everybody else involved. And I hope that the ideas, the green ideas that are generated at this boot camp will not only be making our city ever more beautiful, ever more attractive to live in and move around in, but of course lengthen London and generate thousands of jobs, but lengthen London's lead as the world capital of green technology. Thank you very much.